Welcome to my attempt at breaking Gran Turismo Sport World Records. This video will be showing what I mean by breaking GT Sport World Records, and if there are future videos on this, that means I've broken the world records, and videos will show my lap of doing so, and then the tune in which I used to do it. But anyway, to kind of an intro of all this, and how the records are made official, well, there's an official website for Gran Turismo Sport World Records. I'll link it in the description, but if you just search GT Sport Circuit Records, you will find it on Google. Anyway, that's the name, and this is the first, maybe only track that I'll attempt to break world records on, because as y'all know, I'm no alien. I'm nothing special, that's for sure, but I think I've proved in the past I'm at least decent at this track. And, well, this site has the physical world records and stuff, but I don't know if the very best of the best actually all of them know about this site or not. So we'll see how good the competition actually is. But continuing on to showing more details of it, I think the competition's going to be pretty cotton picking good. Let's look at all the specifics. I would assume, giving all of these testiculars, there's probably at least a lap for all of these testiculars covered. Probably not every individual horsepower, but let's just say there's a lap for just an overall world record for track, meaning most likely done with a Tomahawk. Probably it's been done with all of the tires, and there's probably individual records per country as well. So, how am I going to do it? Well, for now, I just have it at the default page which shows world record for each class of cars, meaning just the overall track record, Group 1 record, Group 2 record, for all of that, meaning everything considered, basically racing super soft tires, modified as high of a horsepower and as low of a weight as it will go, and then tuned to the best of abilities possible. So anyway, here are the records. The first one, technically I could beat quite easily, because it is in a Red Bull, and the Tomahawk is just straight up faster at Central Outer Loop. But I have a hunch this was done on purpose, because as far as I know, these are updated to the new tire model. And y'all already know the anger that I've and many others have seen from the new tire model updating circuit experience and all that. And that a lot of the best don't feel like going back to there. So this is probably the same situation here, just no one's ran a lap of a Tomahawk yet. But I will make it fair enough and then run mine in the Red Bull and see what I can get. The time that I would need to beat is 49.1 seconds. And as y'all can see here too, this is showing the world record time for each attempt. Given that there's all these variables again that I showed up top, there's probably hundreds if not thousands of different records and stuff that go along with even just this car in general. But for now, I'll just keep it on the default page that the site loads, being just the overall record. So anyway, the next one, Group 1. I'm going to attempt in all of the groups possible to use a Mopar in these, which I'm going to attempt to be Dodge, but maybe in like a Group 3, Group 4, maybe Alfa Romeo or something like that. I'm going to do my best for it to be Dodge. So okay, Group 1, I would be using the Tomahawk GTSR. But this particular driver used the Audi. I don't know how good the balance power is it totally modified, but nonetheless, its time was a 53.2. I'll go faster for the rest of these. Group 2 being the Nissan. I assume all of these are pretty well matched in Group 2. I don't think there's a huge difference between best and worst. We're going to be getting some new Group 2s though, so we'll see how that comes in a future update. Anyway, its lap is 57. And another thing I noticed too is this particular site, on the default page, if it's a world record and then somebody beats the world record, both will show. But if it's a world record that's still standing, you run and you don't beat the world record, you have to like go into more detail for your lap to actually show up. So that means, let's say I'm able to get the Group 2 record. This one will go away, but this one will stand, and then also show mine as above. But if I were to attempt this and not get the world record, mine would not show at all here. So that's why some of these have multiple cars, and then some of them only have one. Because let's say for this one, for example, there's probably a whole heck of heap runs done with different people trying to beat it, but there's only been one that ultimately got the record. There's only been one person to actually hold a record. Nobody's beaten that lap yet. I will attempt to, but I'll see. I may not. I have no idea. I have a general sense of what cars can do at their stock settings, which I'll get to in a minute more in detail, but I don't know fully tuned. I have no idea. But anyway, continuing on, that's Group 2, and this is Group 3. This is where it goes into sort of kind of more detail of what I'm able to do. This person might have used the Subaru WRX because that's the one that was in the circuit experience. So thus, this driver may have the best experience of driving it. And if y'all know, I have the world record for the Tokyo Expressway to Outer Loop circuit experience in a stock version of this car. What can the maxed out version of this car run? Well, a 1091. If I remember correctly, my track record is roughly a 112.6, I think. I think that's right. So 112.6 to 109.1 seems doable, but Tokyo Expressway is not really speed track, so upping horsepower will probably only get it maybe half a second more. It's going to be the tires that make the big difference there, because then the tires can handle more horsepower, so it's going to be close. If my hunch is correct about this person was someone who ran the circuit experience and used this car because that's what they have a lot of experience in theory I get it, because I have the world record for circuit experience. So I'm going to say, going on a limb, that this one is the one that I'm most confident that I could beat. But I'm also not going to use the Subaru for it. I'm going to use the Viper, maybe the Alfa Romeo, but I'll attempt to use the Viper first and see if I can get it. But anyway, the final one. Group 4. Another Subaru. I assume kind of the same verdict. Whoever did it, if it's the same person, used this car being a Subaru in the Group 3, so it's more what they're used to, so they use the Group 4. I'm more used to the Viper, so I'll kind of use the same concept. But anyway, its lap is 111. Not that big a difference between Group 3 and Group 4, which maybe means that it gives me a better chance to, at the very least, beat the Group 3 world record. But, I don't know, that'll be the competition, folks. Again, I wouldn't doubt if there's thousands of total times here, but if I can't get anywhere close to these, I'll look to see where I'm at a total leaderboards, and then maybe do an update video if I can't beat these. But if everything goes right, and I am able to beat all these, then well, I'll sell the video for it, and maybe do a tutorial depending on this. I'll see how it goes, like how much I would beat the lap by, or watching the official replays to make sure the laps are official, and then if I find something different in which is worth noting compared to the previous runs or something like that, I would do. But anyway, that's that, folks. Again, I will link the world record page in the description, so y'all can go there and try to beat some more world records on other tracks as well. Maybe if I'm lucky and actually get a few world records on Tokyo Expressway, Central Outer Loop, I may attempt something like BB Speedway, Willow Springs Big Willow. I'm fast at them, but I don't think I'm quite world record level with them. I'll just see how this one goes and go from there before I continue on attempting other world records. But for now, the order in which I'm going to attempt to beat these records, or the order in which they're on the page, is in theory, knowing how I usually am, I'm generally best in the slow car. If I'm able to beat the world records in the fastest car, then that should mean I have a good chance of what's below, and everything will slow down for me too once I start slow cars. So if I start with the fastest car, I should already be at my peak and then just continue from there. So let's see how it goes. Honestly, I don't feel too confident about beating this first one. Especially given I didn't know he's even ran it in a Tomahawk. It makes me think that it's really kind of picking hard to control cars that are such fast on this narrow of a track where there's walls on all sides. And while I'm pretty good at this track, I'm not the best with extremely quick reflexes. Sort of the same with Group 1 because it's not that much slower overall, really. Group 2, maybe I'll have a chance. I feel like I have a better chance with Group 2 than Group 1 just because it's linearly slower and I may have a better chance because it's generally right. And I feel like this track would probably be more suited to my skills with Group 2 Car 2 because as I've said before, horsepower to downforce ratio, I would say Group 2s probably have the most downforce compared to horsepower. Like, they don't have the most grip. Obviously, the Red Bull has more grip, but horsepower to downforce ratio, I would say these are the best in terms of the downforce bit, which I think will help me out at this track. But overall, my most confident is Group 3. I would say about 50-50 that I can get this. I think I can at least get close. But, I don't know. Honestly, it may end up depending on the tunes as well. I'll see on that. Group 4, honestly, this one's probably the most up in the air. Because, yeah, the Viper's one of the better Group 4 cars, but I've never actually ran a Group 4 at its max potential at this track before, and I don't know if this being close means that this lap just wasn't that good, or if this lap was just downright crazily amazing. Because if I remember correctly, a stock Group 4 in my hands can go roughly 116 around here. Stock Group 3 in my hands can go roughly 112. 5-second difference. Ish, short of kinda. 3.5-ish, kinda. It's a bit of a difference. So, well, wish me luck, folks, or try to beat the records for yourselves, because I don't know how good the competition is. That's what I'm gonna see. And, well, try that for yourselves if you want. Maybe there can be a bit of a competition at this track. But I will say, too, if you want to make a good competition, try to beat the Circuit Experience World Record. Because that one's not just an official because of the website, that's official because it's on GG Sport itself. Wink, wink. Try to beat that, somebody. I guarantee people can. I just want to see what happens. I want to see what the best lap is. Because ultimately, the best compliment is imitation, or however that works. I want to see somebody actually beat my lap and then see if I can copy it the best I can and maybe, just maybe, do better. But maybe that also applies to this too, because remember to also save the replay if you do happen to get the world records and then put it on YouTube or whatever too to make it official. But anyway, hope y'all enjoyed this, and as always, yeehaw.